day here in Rochester. Not often that we get $500 million delivered to us. I definitely want to thank you all for coming. I want to acknowledge our senior Congresswoman, Congresswoman Louise Slaughter, for being here. I want to also acknowledge Senator Joseph Robach, Assembly Majority Leader Joseph Morelli, Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks, Chairman of Wayne County Board of Supervisors James Hoffman, Chairman of the Seneca County Board of Supervisors Dan Early, Monroe County Executive-elect Cheryl Donofo, REDC Co-Chair and President of the University of Rochester Joel Seligman, RDDC Co-Chair and CEO of Wegmans Food Markets Danny Wegman, and Director of Upstate and the Director of Upstate Economic Development, Richard Toby. This is an exciting... I know we also have a number of other elected officials in the audience, but I can't name you all. But I want to thank you all for being here. We're thrilled that the governor has come to Rochester to announce that we have won the Upstate Revitalization Initiative, $500 million for Rochester, New York. I want to thank Joel Seligman and Danny Wegman for leading our team in the Finger Lakes region to a successful victory in this particular project. I also want to thank Governor Cuomo. Let me just be clear about something. When we had challenges when it came down to poverty, Governor Cuomo stepped up for Rochester, New York, and he started the initiative of the Rochester Monroe County Anti-Poverty Initiative, and we want to thank him for that. He was there for us then, and he's there for us now. When our workers are having challenges with earning a living wage, Governor Cuomo came here, talked about making sure that every citizen in New York State receive a living wage. We want to thank him for being there for us then, and we thank him for being there for us now. And when the president started the Photonics Institute manufacturing program, the governor stepped up to deliver $200 million to the city of Rochester and to the Finger Lakes region, bringing the Photonics Institute here to Rochester, New York, and making us the photonics capital of the world. We want to thank Governor Cuomo for being there for us then and for being there for us now. We have a governor that is committed to upstate New York and committed to the city of Rochester. He has shown through his leadership that this region is successful, that we have turned a corner, and I thank Governor Cuomo for his support, for making sure that the Upstate Revitalization Initiative is coming here to Rochester, that we're getting $500 million, and it could not be possible without his support. So as a region, let's thank this governor for all of his support for the city of Rochester. Thank you, Governor. So you all know that Senator Robach told me what I needed to say to introduce him. He said, make sure I tell everybody that he is the most hardworking senator in the state of New York, Senator Joe Robach.
I take a lot of kidding, but you always hurt the ones you love. On a very serious note, I'm honored and delighted to be here. I thought my day was starting out great already when I got to go to the gym at 6 a.m. in shorts and a t-shirt on December 14th. But it is getting even better here in Rochester that we can come back from the Albany Awards and announce the $500 million that really will be transformational to us. Not only public-private partnerships that will go on today, but to years to come. And the goal is simple. Economic development, having people have an opportunity to access jobs, lifts all boats, urban, suburban, and this is really is a great day in Rochester. I want to thank not only Joel and Danny for their leadership, everybody that was on the committee, and even the input from the public on how we could really make Rochester better employment work, polish some of the gems we have to make real opportunity. But as the mayor said, it certainly couldn't have been done without the leadership of this governor, who worked in a very bipartisan way to make sure, and I think this is significant coming from me. Many of you in this room know me. I've been very critical at times when I felt that too much of the policy has been New York City centric, or we have not gotten an equal allocation of resources. But we can't say that anymore, and I really want to personally applaud the governor for making sure Rochester and all of upstate New York got a fair share. Thank you. And I want you to know I'm as New York or Rochester centric as could be, and that's my job, but the total allocation for upstate New York, which is unprecedented under this policy, this administration, and us working together, is $3 billion for upstate New York going forward, and that is magnificent. We need it, we'll take it. So let me just end with this. For somebody who's had the honor and privilege to serve this community for a while, and knowing how important equitability is, job creation, our synergy with our colleges and universities, public-private partnerships with business, this is the best Christmas present I could get. I hope you feel the same way. Thank you, Governor Cuomo. It is now my pleasure to introduce my colleague, and honored to serve with him on the committee, but he wanted me to say that he was taller than me and better looking, but I'm not saying that. Very hardworking, our majority leader, a guy that cares a lot about Rochester, Assemblyman Joe Moreno.
Got it. Well, Joe's always half right. I may not be taller than him. Let me begin by acknowledging the hard-working members of the Rochester delegation who are here. It gives me great pleasure to acknowledge Senator Rich Funke is in the crowd. Please give Rich a big round of applause. And my two great colleagues from the New York State Assembly, Assemblyman Harry Bronson and Assemblymember Mark Johns. And I do want to acknowledge all of my colleagues in government. Bringing jobs to our region is a top priority, not only for me, but everybody in this delegation. And it has been a great opportunity to work with the Regional Council. It's been an honor, I know, for Joe and I, and we are truly excited about the progress we're making. Our region's greatest strength has always been rooted in the ingenuity of our academic and business communities, the imagination and diversity of our entrepreneurs, and the productivity of a world-class workforce. And by harnessing these strengths and coming together in a spirit of collaboration, the Finger Lakes region is now on the precipice of realizing its true economic potential in the 21st century. Our region is transforming before our eyes into a knowledge-based economy that is attracting both national and global recognition. And businesses are choosing to invest here, jobs are being created here, and as you can see and feel, the change is all around us. Now, some of you may have heard or seen the announcement of the awards last Thursday. The governor alluded to some tension between him and me, as he put it, that Northern Italy, Southern Italy kind of thing. I think he overstated it a bit, but one thing's for sure. For $500 million, Governor, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. In all seriousness, I do need to say more than a word about Governor Andrew Cuomo, and both the mayor and my friend Joe have talked about it, but the governor's tireless dedication to upstate New York, our economic fortunes, and the need to address opportunity for all has been unsurpassed. We are today celebrating what is arguably one of the most important economic investments in our region's history, but it could not and would not have happened without the singular efforts, the energy, and the vision of Andrew Cuomo. The governor's program has forced us to identify transformational projects and focus on those initiatives that are aligned and that will advance our future economic growth. This award continues to build on the momentum we have worked so hard to create. It will significantly bolster our efforts to secure a brighter economic future for our region by creating thousands of new jobs and leveraging billions in new private sector investments. And I'm additionally grateful that critical funding will now be in place to implement the Rochester Monroe Anti-Poverty Initiative's recommendations on the development of a coordinated system to better serve our children and families impacted by poverty. That also would not have been possible without the leadership of Andrew Cuomo. All of this says to me that the administration in Albany is as committed to delivering real results for our community and our region as we are. In fact, I think it's fair to say that Rochester and the Finger Lakes has never had a partner and advocate as committed to our success as Governor Andrew Cuomo. So, Governor, let me say thank you, thank you, thank you. And before I step away, let me just say a word about the personal investments made by each and every member of the Regional Economic Development Council. Day in and day out, those individuals have been unrelenting in their commitment to advancing the needs and economic vision of our community. As a member of the council, I can attest to the never-tiring efforts of both the hardworking men and women and have witnessed firsthand how they have come together behind a common economic strategy. Our success in securing one of the Upstate Revitalization Top Awards is a testament to their efforts. A great deal of work still lies ahead. I think we all understand that. But we can justifiably take heart from the fact that we are making significant advances in our region. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce two individuals who have shepherded this process through, have been instrumental to our success, who have provided dynamic leadership to this community and their commitment to the economic successes of the region. Please join me in welcoming the co-chairs of the Finger Lakes Regional Economic Development Council and two incredibly wonderful friends, Joel Seligman and Danny Wegman.
Hi, folks.
Joel, it's a good thing we didn't lose.
I think in this room we'd have gotten a standing ovation nonetheless.
No. We've won some and we've lost some. It sure is a lot better to win. And I thank so many of you for all the work that you've put in to get to this point. And it's truly appreciated, and I see so many familiar faces out here and know what you've done. Thank you so much. However, we wouldn't be here unless Governor Cuomo gave us the opportunity to create our own plan and pursue our own destiny. Not just for a year, not just for some projects, but long-term, 5 years. He's got us to think out about strategies, he's got us to think out about pillars and the many projects that will go within there, and that is a wonderful opportunity. He made us realize that we can control our destiny, but without his help, we would not have been able to do it, and I truly thank him for this opportunity. Thank you, Governor. Growth is wonderful, and we do need new jobs, and we'll have more jobs to help our community grow and succeed. Well, what the best thing that the governor did this time is he challenged us, as Mayor Warren mentioned, to tackle poverty and get it fixed. And that is the most fulfilling thing, because it doesn't help us to have a few succeed in this community and have a few who have no chance. And those are the folks that we're going to help, and we're going to make it happen. And Mayor Warren uses the phrase, failure is impossible. Where are you, Mayor? All right. Of course, I could hardly see her with it. What am I talking about? Anyway, it's been terrific. Again, a chance to control our destiny. Thanks for making it happen, and we're gonna make it happen. Thank you very much.
Let me thank the best co-chair in the universe, Danny Wegman, for being there every step of the way. We were united for success, and our hearts go out in gratitude to the 450 people who worked on our work groups, the 33 who worked on the Regional Economic Development Council. It takes a public-private partnership to move a city like Rochester, and we worked as a public-private partnership in Rochester and laid the groundwork for success. The governor, 2011 and 12, challenged us. It's jobs, jobs, jobs. We learned more recently it has to be jobs for everyone. And the combination of economic development and eradicating poverty became our mantra, and we pulled together to do this. Now, I am honored to have the chance to welcome Governor Cuomo back to Rochester. And as a holiday present, I give him a new aphorism: the savior of upstate. And I do not mean this as an overstatement. What he's done for Buffalo, and now Rochester and Syracuse, and the Southern Tier will be transformative. This is the other part of the public-private partnership. Without the strong support of the government, we can't move forward as effectively as we can. And I close with one simple thought for all of you. Now we have to do our part. I'd like to think we won because we promised something like 6-to-1 leverage. That is, we would raise $3 billion locally for the $500 million that the state is putting in. We have to roll up our sleeves. We have to go to work. We've got 5 years of the kind of intensity we've put in the last 5 months, but it's going to be worth it. 5 years from now, this city will be well on its way to revitalization. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the single man who made this most possible, Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, Rochester. I see some of you have libations already. I'm jealous. I'm going to speak briefly. First, give Mayor Lovely Warren a big hand for her leadership and what she has been doing. To two great men who were two great leaders and two great co-chairs, Danny Wegman and Joel Seligman, thank you so much for your leadership. And you have a great legislative delegation. You really do. And it's led by Grand Poobah Joe Morelli and Senator Joe Roback. Let's give them a round of applause. Let me say this. This is special. And this is really once in a lifetime. You're not going to get an opportunity like this again. It's one of those moments, why? Yeah, it's not enough? It's one of those moments where everything really did come together, and it came together right. What I love about this program and this approach is it's honest all the way through. You know, sometimes in government, in life, you have to make compromises. And you want to do it one way, but for a variety of reasons, you wind up compromising and you wind up making it a little different. This program is 100% true, 100% right. It said things and did things that we always knew were true, but we couldn't get done before. It started with the premise that Senator Roback said, which was right. Upstate New York was cheated by Albany for many, many, many years. That is the truth. Upstate New York was in economic decline. Albany focused more on downstate than on upstate. Why? Well, the political power, frankly, in Albany is more from downstate New York. And it's unified. And upstate New York needed help, and the state government was not there. That was true. Joe Roback, a few others, were yelling about it, but they were yelling into the wind. And the state government was not responsive, and the economy was changing, and no one was there to help upstate New York change with the new economy. And we saw an exodus, and we saw young people leave, and we saw businesses leave, and we saw no help coming from anywhere. That is true. And it had to be changed because it wasn't right and it wasn't fair. The best way to do it is to come up with a competition to get the best plan. Now, whose idea was the competition? Mine. Who liked the idea of competition? No one. Why? Because everyone said, just give us the money. And we had these long conversations, and they said, but if there's a competition, how do I know I win? I said, you don't. And they said, what happens if we lose? I said, you whistle. Goose egg, you get nothing. By the way, Rochester lost one year. They didn't talk to me for 9 months when they lost. But why a competition? Number one, we didn't have the money, enough money to do all the regions, and we wanted enough funding to be able to make a real difference. Number two, competition works. Competition makes people produce their best product. It does. I don't care what the field is, if it's sports, if it's business, if it's life. Competition gets people to come up with their best product. Three, what we were asking people to do, what needed to be done, is hard. Everybody work together. Form one partnership. We need the academic community to work with the political community. And the academic community says, oh, we don't want to have to work with those politicians. Politicians said, we don't want to work with those academics. All right, then you lose. Okay, we'll do it. Then we need the business community to be part of the partnership. And business community says, I don't want to work with the academics or the politicians. Well, then you lose. Okay, I'll do it. Put the politics aside. Democrats and Republicans. Joe Morelli, Joe Roback, we don't like to work with each other. Well, then you lose. And then everybody blames you. Okay, we'll work together. And it really did bring people together and bring people to work together who wouldn't have done it otherwise, to come up with the best product. We said the focus is on the economy, and it's not a giveaway. And we don't want to subsidize failing places. We want to reboot the economy and get jobs coming in. And come with us with real business plans. And focus just on the business plans. But we also want to use the money to buy a new fire truck. You can't. Focus on creating jobs, creating a tax base, creating a future, replacing the economy and the businesses that we lost over the past 40 years with a major investment to do it. And stay singularly focused on that and don't get distracted. That was the focus of jobs. You read your application, it was inspired. High tech that you would expect, photonics capital of the world. But it's Rochester, so you brought your heart and your soul and your caring. And you said in the application it's not enough just to create high-tech jobs so those people who are trained well can do well. We believe the best feast is the feast that has the most number of people at the table, and we want an anti-poverty agenda that's bringing people up at the same time because we want to raise all of Rochester. It is moving. It is happening. And this $500 million can really make that plan a reality. Now, $500 million, how much is it? Well, a few of you in the past have mentioned the Buffalo billion to me. especially the people behind me. I can't tell you how much heartburn I got from Rochester for the Buffalo Billion. Now, the Buffalo Billion, if you want to say, well, we got a $500 million. The way the Buffalo Billion works, it's $100 million a year for 10 years. You're getting $100 million a year for 5 years. So it's the same rate of pay. And just to put the ball back in your court, you see how well Buffalo has done? And by the way, Buffalo has done remarkably well. It is really unbelievable what happened in Buffalo. Better than anyone could have guessed. Because Buffalo had the worst problem in the state of New York, not even close. On the numbers, on the size, on the job loss, and on the level of depression of the people. Buffalo was down, not just on the numbers, in their hearts. They were really down. And they didn't believe they could make it back. And they have done phenomenal work over the past few years. You know how much they've spent about thus far? $500 million. Now, if Buffalo could accomplish what Buffalo accomplished with $500 million, imagine what you're going to do with $500 million over the next 5 years. Because you are starting with a lot more assets and a lot more energy than we started with in Buffalo. So the sky is going to be the limit. And also, you are not starting from a dead stop. This state is moving now. You can feel it. We have turned the corner and the arrows are pointed in the right direction. We brought taxes down all across the state of New York. We brought state spending down all across the state of New York. One thing you have to thank my 2 legislative colleagues and the others who are here, and I don't like to give them a lot of thanks because it goes right to their head in the legislature. And they are a difficult group to begin with. Let me tell you, they really are. They seem nice when they're here, but when you get them alone, they are a really difficult group of people. And there's a lot of them, so you put a lot of difficult people together. It's called the legislature. But anyway, they have spent the lowest level of spending in modern political history, under 2% every year for the past 5 years. That's been their fiscal discipline. Because we did that, we could bring down state taxes. And we reduced state taxes for every New Yorker in the state. Income taxes are down, corporate taxes are down, estate taxes are down. Business is responding. Our unemployment rate statewide went from 10% to about 5%. And the best thing about it is all across upstate New York, the unemployment is down. 740,000 jobs. We have more private sector jobs today than we have ever had in the history of the state of New York. So, you have the wind at your back, and also, you're going to have a synergy that is all positive around you. You have Buffalo that's doing better. Southern Tier just won a $500 million URI award, so you're going to see the Southern Tier doing well. Central New York won $500 million, so this entire part of the state is really going to be energized, and there's going to be a connection among you. And the last point I leave you with is what Joel Seligman said. Now it is up to you. It was up to you to come up with a plan and the application and win. And you did. Congratulations. Now it's going to be up to you to make it happen. You have to take that plan and you have to make it a reality. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over weeks and months and years. But you have to pull together, you have to show what you're made of, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to rebuild Rochester. And turn off those negative voices, and turn off those negative forces that say, well, you know, we can't do this, it's tough in upstate, You can't believe government. Nothing ever works. You know those negativists that we have, the negative druthers in upstate New York? Turn them off and show them they're wrong. You just rise above. This is the place that built some of the greatest corporations on the globe. You made Xerox. You made Kodak. You made Bausch & Lomb. You were doing engineering when other places couldn't spell the word. You were high-tech before they had high-tech. Some of the greatest minds and the greatest inventions came from Rochester. That's who you are, and don't you forget it. Sure, we went through a bad period. Yes, we did. And yes, nobody was there to help you. And yes, it was a long road. But it doesn't change your DNA. The blood in your veins made this state what it is, made this city and this county what it is. You did what couldn't be done year after year after year. And that's the DNA of New York. This state attracted people who came from all across the globe with one promise, which was opportunity. You come here and you can work hard and be whatever you want to be. And we attracted self-starters and people who wouldn't take no for an answer from all across the country. And that's who you are. And that's what you represent. Rebuilding Rochester to a level it's never been before. That's your mission, and you're going to do it, and I can't wait to see it. Congratulations, and God bless you.
Folks, thanks for joining us here, and appreciate all your help. Thank you. Congratulations.